What's up, YouTube? I thought today I would kind of get into the plumbing of the monopour we did the other day. Oops, wrong way. We got it kind of wet curing right now. It kind of got, the pump kept getting unplugged, so we just ran it off the hose for most of the weekend to keep it super cool. It's been pushing 100 every day, so we've been keeping this thing quenched, damp, and with water laying in the bottom of it. Probably leave it like that for another few days, maybe through next weekend. I'm going to be out of town anyway, and just let that, we've got a cover pump just circulating it, keeping the walls wet. But I'm going to flip it around here and show you. We basically backfilled gravel up about halfway, basically up to where the plumbing starts in the ditches, and we ran a little whacker compactor around it as we did it. You can see it over there, right there. And then once we got the gravel compacted, there's an auto cover going here, and this is where the bubblers exit. So this will be one of the first things I cover up. We peel the ICF off just to make that wall thinner and give us good concrete to connect the brackets and everything to for the auto cover. And it saves us 4 inches of lid. So that's going to be poured in here after we backfill gravel up over this. But you can see what we've done here. We've got our conduits for the bubblers running out. That's for the light. And then each one of these 2-inch water lines for the bubbler. I think the bubblers only need about 7 or 8 gallons per minute. So we've run a single 2-inch line from all the way over from the pump to feed it. And then it runs into a 2.5-inch manifold. That kind of lets the pressure equalize between the 3 of them. Just kind of ups the volume, and the flow going in from the 2-inch will kind of be allowed to equalize, so the bubblers look all kind of the same height naturally. The issue, not really an issue, but the limiting factor for all this, Eric runs all the hydraulic math making sure we're fine, is we have a very long run back to the equipment pad on this pool. I've already backfilled this ditch. You can see it ran right through here, and then it turns and goes down the side of the house about another 40 feet or so to where the equipment pad's going to be. And I had to backfill it to get the gravel backfill in here so they could compact it. And now what we're going to do is run all of the light plumbing and all of the main drains and all the returns back in a ditch that's right there. They meet right here, and I will return all of it to the equipment pad, bring it all above grade, air test everything, and backfill. The only water line that is under bury when I air test it will be this one. I kind of had to do it. It's bell end 2-inch 20-foot runs. There's no other fittings other than bell ends, and it's only like 2 fittings that are under that dirt, so I'm not worried about that at all. We bedded it all in gravel, as you can see, before we just push the dirt back over it. And yeah, so the one thing I'm really excited to show you guys on this is the Venturi skimmer, which we talked a little bit about. It's Pentair's, they bought A&A a couple years ago, and this skimmer, this is the normal suction line that you guys are used to on every skimmer you've ever seen. Believe it or not, this skimmer, that doesn't even have to be operating. It can be completely shut off, and this skimmer will still pull 6 or 7 gallons a minute over the weir. Oh boy, this is the wrong one to show you. So it had that. So down here, I just pulled the foam out of it. I'll show you when I get it done. I'll show you on the other. There's a nozzle that goes in here. It's only got an orifice of about like 1/8 of an inch, very small nozzle that comes out to about here. And then there's a tube here, so it jams water right over the top of the suction port, right through there. And it creates a Venturi effect where it creates suction as it goes by. And as it does that, it creates a suction, and the water will just go over the weir and right back into the pool with a Venturi effect. So it doesn't even, it's got a fancy basket that has a little mesh in it, so it will catch more debris than a normal skimmer basket would. And that can make these skimmers like 3x effective compared to traditional skimmers. So yeah, guys, this is what I'm doing. I'm gonna get to plumbing right now, and then I'll kind of just give you a final walkthrough when I'm done. and maybe show you the air test and everything, and we'll get back at it.
All right, guys. So a couple of my kids that work for me had started school this week, and the other guys were on a pool that we're trying to wrap up at the chill zone, and we had training coming up. So I ended up plumbing this thing by myself. It's kind of funny if you watch the sun. This job, the homeowner watched one of these videos and thought it was funny that I called the backyard a hot hellhole because it's been pushing 100 for weeks. And back here in this clay, it's like a brick oven. You're like a piece of pepperoni just getting cooked. So I got here about 6 in the morning, and I started gluing pipe from west to east to get in front. And I was out of the sun until I got to this point in the ditch here. And I plumbed the whole pool in about 3 hours, just trying to race the clock till that sun got on me. But then it got me pretty good. I went over, helped Kenny get ready for training, came back in the evening with Jonathan. He came over after school and helped me plumb the rest of the stuff to get it above grade and ready for an air test. And it worked out really, really good. And we air tested it the next day, which I'll show you guys here in a minute, the actual process.
All right, guys. So real quick, our new all three pools hats came in last night, so I'm sporting that. But obviously I did all of the plumbing on this pool yesterday pretty much by myself. We're just kind of shorthanded. We have training starting here in about an hour for rental it. So I had to send all my boys to another job, and I did all this plumbing. And this morning, Jonathan came over and helped me get it basically up above grade and ready for its air test. So I'll show you guys that at the end of the video, and then this thing's gonna be ready for backfill, and that will be the video. So obviously all of my runs I did, again, this Venturi here, now that I have it open, I can show you. Let me scan. So you see the little port there. It's a very small orifice, and it's shooting straight through into the pool, into the return. There's no way for me to air test that because it's going to be no way. There's no way to plug it with pressure on it. That's okay, and that is going to Y off or T off on the other side and go to the other skimmer too. You technically can just plumb that with all of your other returns, but I wanted to be able to isolate it to increase or decrease the flow through it. It'll be just a manual ball valve and a set it or forget it, a set it and forget it kind of thing. You see each one of my lights has a reducing bushing to a 1-inch PVC conduit sweep, and then it just runs all the way back. So what we have over here is basically a return line, and then a skimmer suction and a skimmer pressure for this Venturi skimmer, okay? And then the sweeps just kind of bend around here. They stay in the ditch. Let me walk you down to the other side real quick. And we have 3 more conduits here. But the one thing we have over on this side, it's identical. It's got the 2 skimmer lines, the returns, and it does have the main drain, which is that big 2.5 laying on the outside here. So it all comes together right here. We got the T for the skimmers, and that's the only T we have underground because the returns we send back to the equipment in 2 redundant runs. Couple reasons we do that. We want to be able to kind of have the ability when we run bubblers to take flow away from some of the returns, but not all. We want to be able to kind of have more control over that. But also, if there was ever to be a plumbing problem, a break of any kind, you can kind of see the ground we have. It's very kind of rocky clay and it's karst. You'll see a big limestone deposit that they hit. So we're pretty stable, but ground does move. And if years from now, one of those returns had a problem, this pool can easily run on the other side of the returns. So you wouldn't have to have any downtime on the pool during pool season. And obviously right here is the ditch that I'd already backfilled. I air tested the bubbler line before I connected to the bubblers, because bubblers is another thing you can't air test once they're connected. There's no way to plug off the bubbler. But that ditch there that my skid steer's parked on goes back over to the auto cover, which is what the big 2-inch conduit is for. That's my hydraulic lines, and the 3 conduits here that are cut off, those are my bubblers, the 3 bubbler micro brights. They will turn up right here, and I'll tie them together. The other 6 that I ran out of conduit, I got to get about 40 more sticks to finish this. This pool is eating up pipe. 6 more 1-inch conduits, and they will all come up in a yard box right here. They'll tie together above the water line, and then they will come in 1 conduit back over to the equipment pad. And so that's kind of how that's working. All right, so kind of see I've got everything plumbed above grade in the order in which I want to see it come up. And the way I did that is I started from the far end. And the way Pentair equipment generally works, it doesn't really matter for the pump, but the filter and the heaters, they all plumb a little cleaner right to left, kind of backwards for English speakers who read left to right, you know, but that's how it's designed. So the pump will start on the right and we'll work our way to the heater on the left, and the plumbing will go through a little better. So the way I like to do this is I always put my mains in the middle, because the mains are usually in the middle of the pool or at the deep end. But I'll start with, if you come across the pool facing the same way, if I'm facing north looking at the pool, I'll be facing north looking at this equipment pad. This is the first skimmer you would come to if you were scanning across the pool. This is the easternmost skimmer, and then my main, and then my west skimmer. So without even labeling them, I know what they are forever. And then over here, that's my water line for my auto cover, or for my auto fill. And then these here, and they'll be in perfect line when I'm done. But you have the 2 redundant returns, and then you have the skimmer returns that I'll be able to put a ball valve on and give it the exact amount of flow that I want. And then that is my bubblers. So I'll have some automated ball valves that will pull water off of these 2 returns and send them into the bubblers and stuff. So it's pretty simple, honestly, guys. And it'll be done here in just a little bit. I'll show you the air test. All right, guys. So the next thing I got to do on the air test, skimmers can be a little tough because if you try to just plug them, they're real hard to turn unless you make like a little wrench. Because these Venturi skimmers have this little collar that blocks access to the hole, you got to remove that. And then we're going to put some Teflon tape on a male adapter and just make something out of some pipe that is long enough that I can get it up here where I have some leverage. And I'll just tighten that down in and snug that really, really good. And another thing we'll do, so obviously I've got soapy water that I'm going to use to check any fitting that I want to, really all the fittings. But in here, I'll just put about 1 inch of water in here, and it'll bubble if I don't have it tight enough, or if there's any issue at the threads. So then this little guy here, actually Jonathan's dad made this one, but we make something similar that will allow us to do an air test. You just hook an air hose to it from a compressor. You have this valve that you can turn on and off, and a gauge that'll tell you we're going to take it up to about 15 psi, and we'll charge the 2 skimmers. The mains, we're actually going to have to go swimming to get the lid off and put the caps on, because we're still wet curing it. Normally we would just cap that, but we're going to get that lid off and put the 3 caps on that. And then I will build a manifold that connects all these pipes except the bubblers, which I tested before I hooked them up. And because once they're hooked up, you can't cap them. And the skimmer returns, the Venturi part, because they have a kind of a special fitting here that is jammed in that you can't really plug very easy. So that's it. Pretty easy, guys. Yeah. So we're gonna do the air test now. Okay. All right, guys. So now you can kind of see the final product. We glued everything together that we can air test. Obviously, the skimmer pressure side and the bubblers. The bubblers have been previously tested. The skimmer pressure side we tested before we connected it, because the part that goes through the skimmer, you can't really pressurize. There's no way to plug that. That said, we put all of our suction side, both skimmers and the mains, we plugged everything up. And over here, we've got the 2 redundant returns, both sides completely pressurized. It held, we leave it on pressure the entire time we're backfilling, just in case a big rock falls in there. We know if we've done any damage, but we actually bed all of this in rock. Fill about half the ditch with rock, lift up the pipes a little bit, get rock under it, all around it, and then we go ahead, because this isn't concrete out here, this is all turf. We don't want the gravel all the way to the surface, except right here where the equipment pad is. You guys come here and see how it turned out. We've pretty much done with the backfill. We have the lights coming up over here. We kind of delineate the bubblers from the other lights. And so, because we'll have 2 transformers, so they'll switch separately from each other. And then the one conduit running back under the turf is the power line that will feed the 2 circuits of lights. And then everything else over here, we're hoping that this pool is going to get eco-finished during training. Lots of weather and everything else has to break right over the next 3 weeks, but it's realistic, so we'll see what happens. But me and Jonathan had to go swimming because of our wet cure that we're doing. We hadn't plugged the mains when we did that, so we had to go in there. I make these little deals to plug these skimmers because they're easier to torque in. But otherwise, guys, it's ready, it's done. The next thing we'll do is pour that equipment pad next week, and we'll pour the slab for the auto cover well. And then I think our auto cover came in today. It's over there on the trailer. We'll set the rails, and the towel guys are starting in like a week. So like I said, I think we'll be ready for eco. That we'll wrap this one up, do a cool tour. Stay tuned.